Finding Gray, breaking free of a black and white thinking pattern. You have full permission to not believe what your brain is telling you. Black and white thinking is a faulty thinking pattern error that we all fall into. Breaking free creates more joy, freedom, and peace in your life, business, career, and relationships. I'm Amy Colombo, an emotional mastery coach, nurse, and single mother to 3 boys, and I'm helping you break free of this exact thinking pattern error so you can start having your own back and stop holding yourself back through the art and science of emotional mastery. Welcome to my page, and if that sounds like it can help you and it's right up your alley, go ahead and click that subscribe button as we're creating new content for you weekly to create more truth, freedom, and love in your life. I'm going to start with a powerful question. How would your life change if you stopped believing every extreme thought that your brain throws at you? What would be different today, tomorrow, next week, next year even? My intention is for you to walk away from this talk feeling more empowered to change your own thoughts. You don't need to believe what your brain is trying to tell you. What is black and white thinking? Black and white thinking, also called dichotomous thinking in psychology, is a cognitive distortion where a person interprets themselves, a situation, or others in extremes. It's all or nothing, it's black and white, it's successful or failure, it's good or bad, it's perfect or it sucks. It is one of the most common faulty thinking pattern errors known to humans, and it causes a lot of shame, anxiety, helplessness, and hopelessness. Who coined the term? While the pattern existed long before psychology named it, the concept of dichotomous thinking as a cognitive distortion was formally identified and popularized by Dr. Aaron T. Beck. He is the creator and founder of cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, which is considered the gold standard in therapy. And for us as coaches, coaching is kind of a cousin science to CBT. A black and white thinking pattern is characterized by extremes. It's all or nothing, good or bad, success or failure, right or wrong, perfect or imperfect. It is really common in politics. A great example of a black and white thinking pattern is, if she voted for him, I can't be her friend. That is an all or nothing dichotomous type of thinking pattern. If this, then that. Black and white thinking can also show up as very, very harsh judgment. If I didn't get this very specific outcome, then I suck, then I failed, then I'm not good enough. If I were to name the emotions that are behind this thinking pattern that are actually triggering it, it's vulnerability, shame, embarrassment, helplessness, and frustration. There is good news. Number one, you're not alone. Every human does this and falls into this thinking pattern trap. So there's no shame or embarrassment here. And your thoughts are not facts, and you can change them and let them go at any time. Yes, there is hope. Your thoughts are not facts. They are not cemented in stone. And the first step is being aware of that and being willing to let them go without pressuring yourself to let them go. If awareness is the first step, the second step is this fancy term called cognitive diffusion. What does that mean? That just means you're becoming the observer of your thoughts. Whereas before, a thought would come into your body of if this, then that, I didn't get the outcome I wanted, so I suck, I'm stupid, this is not for me. Those are absolute judgments and meanings that you are making from the discomfort, the emotions that you're feeling in the learning space, the trying space, the life journey space. This can happen in your life, at work, in your relationships. And when you become the observer of your thoughts, that is when you can change them. What this looks like in real time is becoming aware, noticing, observing, and then giving it the name. Oh, I'm thinking in that black and white thinking pattern error. I'm thinking in an all or nothing thinking pattern error. This is not serving me. Just becoming the neutral observer of is a great step to change. The next step to changing this thinking pattern is observing the emotion underneath the thought. I'm going to give you an example here A very light example. I swore that I could not change the thought that I hate kettlebells. I move my body, it's really important to me. I'm in CrossFit. Every time I see kettlebells on the menu, I don't want to go in that day. So I did exactly what I'm telling you to do. I became aware that I hate kettlebells is a thought, not a fact. I could feel my resistance holding on to it. It was like, that feels pretty damn true to us. So then I became the observer of, and I realized, okay, even though it feels true, it is a thought and it is a black and white thinking pattern thought, and I can change that. So just observing it, labeling it as a black and white thought, and being willing to change it. So then I started asking myself, okay, why do I hate kettlebells? And I started telling myself all the reasons why I hate them. And it really centered around my hand grip. As I've gotten older, my hand grip has gotten weaker, and the kettlebells really challenge that hand grip. And I'm like, I feel stupid. I feel palsy. I feel discombobulated, like it's going to just fling across the room. I don't feel like I can quite hold on to it as I'm swinging. And I started validating why I hate kettlebells. As I started doing that, I started realizing that I don't really hate kettlebells. I kind of hate or don't like this feeling of being palsy, stupid, not knowing, not good at them, and like they're just gonna drop out of my hands. Okay, we validate that. We validate that to be true, and then we ask ourselves, what's the emotion behind that? When I asked myself that question, what's the emotion behind that? Some vulnerability came up with that. I don't like the fact that I'm losing strength in my hands as I get older. It makes me feel weak. It makes me feel vulnerable. It makes me feel a little bit scared of thinking of like me getting older and losing strength in my body. And that was it. And I had to just breathe and ground and validate that feeling. Well, okay, now we do the mindset work. We start changing it around. We don't go to some pie in the sky positive affirmation that doesn't feel true. We don't go from I hate kettlebells to I love kettlebells. No, it was like, okay, now I kind of see this differently. I see that I'm sort of displacing this meaning and this black and white thinking pattern and labeling that I hate kettlebells as this absolute, but it's not true. There's so much nuance. There's so many other things happening at play, from emotions and vulnerability to the way it feels in my hands and what that means to me. So I started realizing I actually don't hate kettlebells. I don't like the way my hands feel when I'm holding them and swinging them and like they're going to fall out of my hands. And that's the thing. And that felt true. So I was able to come up with I don't hate kettlebells. I certainly don't love them, but I'm willing. I'm willing to do them. I'm willing to try them. So now when I see kettlebells on the menu, I'm like, oh, okay. I feel a little bit more hope and possibility. I don't feel like I don't want to go to the workout. I actually feel like I can do it. I'm not pie in the sky. I love them. They're the greatest thing ever. But I have this other thought in my body that's taking into consideration some nuance, some shades of gray that I don't need to extremely label it that I hate it. And that feels really good to me. And that's just one example of how you can shift out of a black and white thinking pattern. Another example I want to bring in is with my client. She is a nurse. She's on a journey of creating a coaching practice for herself, and she's on social media. She made a comment and shared a truth, a belief on an issue in which she got a lot of opposition in the comment section, and it made her feel absolutely terrible. She was holding on to it for days, and the black and white thought that she brought into our coaching session was, if this is what people value and believe in this industry, then I cannot be a part of it. This is a black and white thinking pattern. If this, then that. One person did this, so all people do this. When we generalize and stereotype and discriminate an entire race or culture or industry or gender, it comes from these extreme thinking patterns of all or nothing, black and white, good and bad. And the hope is that they're not facts. There are shades of gray and nuance in there that we can come to. So we worked on this in the session and we brought awareness, validation. We got really clear as to her thoughts, her values. We got clear that this other person or these other people disagreed with her. And what was that bringing up for her emotionally? Well, it was a deep coaching session. So it went all the way back to her inner child, not feeling seen, not feeling heard. But we can just name the emotions. She felt embarrassed. She felt shame. She wasn't getting that validation and that agreement that she thought she was going to get. Whenever we set out to do something and it doesn't look or sound or feel like the way we think, we tend to label it, judge it, deem it unworthy, unsafe, not enough, or I'm a failure, or this is not for me. That is a black and white thinking pattern. That is an absolute. That is a judgment call based on a feeling you're feeling because it didn't look or sound or feel like the way you thought. This is happening more times than we even know. So we got behind the thought, we got into the emotions, we validated them, we released them, and then she was able to leave that coaching session feeling strong and sturdy because we got clear on her values and her thoughts, and we got clear that other people are allowed to disagree. They don't have to have the same exact thoughts or beliefs on an issue as she does, and that is okay. It didn't feel good in the comments section, and all the work that we did didn't go back and make it feel good, but we were able to extract that black and white thought, that extreme thought that she was having, get behind the vulnerable emotions and validate them to release them, because only you can validate your truth, even if it's a negative truth. This is the step that so many people miss and is so important. We cannot bypass and go from here to there. There is a gap and there is a space. And the first step is always validating what's there, meeting it right where it's at. We want to always do that first. That validation just settles that anxiety, that frustration. And that's what releases it and gives it permission to move through and allows you to get calm and relaxed so that something else can come in. She's allowed to disagree with me. It doesn't mean the entire industry is not for me. I had this one encounter with this one person this one time. It does not mean the entire industry is not for me. And we were even able to extract the value that this triggered something really vulnerable for her. And she was able to use it for her personal self-care, self-love, self-compassion, and get some healing and growth and extract a lesson out of it. This is how you come out of a black and white thinking pattern. In summary, you're not alone in this pattern. It shows up for everybody. There is hope. You can change it. You can let thoughts go. And it is worthy work. Putting time, effort, and energy into believing something better, something truer, something more nuanced, something that takes everything into consideration and doesn't hold this very strong, rigid stance that it has to be this way or else it's not for me. This is going to help you so much. The human experience is never black and white. Life is nuanced, and seeing the shades of gray is a journey, and it's worth every single step along the way. Here are some questions that you can ask yourself to break free of this black and white thinking pattern error and come into a more expansive, more accepting, a freer, truer way of thinking that's going to help you to see yourself and others through a lens of common humanity. Can you tolerate difference without absorbing it? Can you listen for clarification and understanding and not judge? Can you hold curiosity without shutting down? Where are you labeling and judging harshly instead of seeing nuance and other perspectives? The positive outcomes of seeing the shades of gray, thinking differently, and letting go of this rigid black and white all or nothing pattern are endless. You will feel better. You will be more likable, more magnetic. You will feel safer to be around. People will want to be in your presence. They won't feel judged. They won't feel criticized. When you are this person that doesn't think in these absolutes, you are the person that your boss feels understood by. That a-hole boss that everyone hates, when you don't hate her, when you see a different side, a different perspective, she feels that energetically. She feels understood and she values your opinion above everyone else's. When you are this person, you are that mother that your kid, when they're struggling, when they're challenged, when they're feeling at their lowest, will come to you for support because you are that sturdy leader that can hold them in their struggles without making it your own. And when you get out of this black and white thinking pattern and you hold a both and perspective, you will be able to challenge yourself further and take on new endeavors because you will know that feeling frustrated and falling and not doing it perfect are part of the journey, and you can handle all the emotional waves of that journey. You will feel stronger, more resilient, more capable than ever when you break free of this thinking pattern error and you start thinking with more expansion, more compassion, more shades of gray and nuance, and start understanding the emotions behind the thinking pattern. When you can see that for yourself, you can see that for others. And that's when people feel seen, heard, validated, and understood in your presence. This makes you magnetic. This makes you an amazing safe space to be around for your kids, for your boss, for your coworkers, for your clients, and for your partners. If you really enjoyed this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and share this with someone that you know is stuck in a black and white thinking pattern that can actually use this message so that hope can come back in. And this video might be just the thing to help release that. Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody, and I've recommended another video for you to watch. It's here on the screen. Bye.